Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we're going to be reviewing Guts and Grunts. Guts and Grunts is developed and published by Cascadia Games. It is $9.99 on Xbox. This game is a Contra style game. You can definitely feel the Contra aspect of the game, but it's also got some, I thought, some Sonic aspects to it, where you're basically playing as a pig that is hell-bent on stopping the controlling dictators known as the Technate. In this game, you're going to be going around trying to find power-ups and upgrades, and then just defeating lots of enemies as you go in different aspects. I felt like there's a nice diversity of the game when it comes to the different levels and all the different ways you're going to utilize the different strengths that your character builds as you go to defeat enemies and to find your way around. There's definitely some exploring that you can do in this game, so it definitely adds to the possibilities, because you could definitely miss some of the power-ups and things if you weren't careful. But overall, it is a relatively straightforward game. This game is going to take you around 6 to 10 hours of gameplay to beat the main story. I'm not sure that there's a lot of replay value there, because it didn't, it was still pretty, condensed into what it is. And there's nothing new about the game where I haven't seen before in other games of this style. But it does take some of the really popular elements in those Contra-style games and the Sonic games and kind of mixes them together to create something that is just a generally fun game to play. I felt like the difficulty factor could have been ramped up a little bit, or at least have some difficulty options for the more hardcore players, but overall I did find the game relatively enjoyable. You will be needing to go around and find power-ups to help you beat some of the later bosses and things, but overall, it's not a very difficult game from that perspective. Like I said, it'll take around 6 to 10 hours to complete one way or the other, and it's definitely a game that you'll enjoy. I think the price point on this is really solid. I didn't find any bugs or glitches throughout the game. I felt like all the mechanics were very well put together. The guns shot about the way I expected, and how damaging they are was a lot easier than like on a Contra game, which is relatively difficult at times. But if you're really good at those Contra type games, you're probably going to find this pretty easy. As such, I did find it enjoyable, and the levels are nice and unique, and so that definitely gives some added gameplay to it. I didn't feel like while playing through that I was ever really bored of it, as I felt like it ratcheted up as we went, especially as we got more power-ups and items that could help us throughout the game, and the enemies got more difficult as we went as well. However, once you did come across one enemy the first time, you're not going to have too much issue with them going forward once you figure out how to beat those particular enemies. Now, some of them have different things that they do that can make it a little bit more difficult at times, but overall, I just found it relatively easy from that perspective. As for the achievements in the game, they're also very straightforward. You just need to beat all the missions. There's a few odd and ends achievements, but you'll get those early on, and that's basically there just to kind of show you some of the mechanics and you picked up a upgrade, things like that. You should get that stuff in the first couple of levels at the very least. Overall, it's not a very fast achievement game, but it's like I said, a 6 to 10 hour game, and that's about how much time it'll take you to get those achievements. I'm gonna give this game a 7.4 out of 10. I felt like the game is pretty solid for what it is, though I don't feel like it does anything that I haven't seen before. I did feel like it gave me some nostalgic vibes for some of the mechanics that I've recognized from old games that I used to really love, and so that is cool, and that definitely gives an overall an enjoyable experience. And for the price point of $10 to have a 6 to 10 hour game is not bad for what it is, and something you're just gonna enjoy while playing. Again, the difficulty is not very crazy, but you'll just enjoy it as long as if you're playing it somewhat casually, and it's a good introduction to those type of games as well. So it's one of the better of these style of games that I've played in a while here on Xbox. So I do think it's a pretty solid game from that perspective. So that's pretty much what I have for Guts and Grunts. It's a pretty standard game, but it's an enjoyable experience, and I enjoyed it for what it is. So make sure to check it out on Xbox. It is $9.99. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, and have a nice day, guys.